Bismillah, we are with the elegant and dynamic Dr. Nisa Muhammad from Howard University and the co-founder of the Muslim Oscars, the Golden Minaret Awards, which is produced by the Academy of Muslim Achievement. And we are also with the legend, the well-known, the famous, or infamous, depending upon what circles you find yourselves in, the none other than Preacher Moss. So we have what we call a doctor, a preacher, and an attorney, a lawyer in this conversation right now. And we are talking about an exciting conversation or exciting program that is coming your way, and that is the Golden Minaret Awards 2021 Muslim inaugural weekend, which includes our, red carpet virtual this year Muslim Oscars gala, along with the Day of Conversations. And after this Day of Conversations, which is on Friday, set for Friday, January 15th, we have a special kind of tease. We have a special tease on something that is going to be huge, and that's a first draft of a production which we're calling the Muslim Kings and possibly Queens of Comedy. So why don't we talk a little bit about that? Preach. First of all, how are you doing, and where are you live broadcasting from tonight?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. All praise due to Allah, and I'm broadcasting from my dining room.
I see, man. I hope you've had some good Pakistani, maybe some roti or some what do they have over there in the Indian community that your wife likes making, boy? I know that's some good food over there, right?
No, brother. I went to the Waffle House today, man.
I was thinking you had some biryani, but you went to the Waffle House instead, huh?
Yeah, look, brother, I got a Waffle House. I have a booth with a rope around it, so when I come, they just lift it for me. And in Jamaica, bro, I'm island dude. I'm with the island folks, so I like my Jamaican food. I like my snow peas and rice, and I like my jerk chicken. Sometimes I take it down there. It's halal jerk chicken. So yeah, that's what it is, bro. But it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
Alhamdulillah. Dr. Nisa, how are you doing? And
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are our students? I know that they are in such a challenging situation with the pandemic, but how are they doing?
Alhamdulillah, they're doing great. They're all on break now, and so they're happy to get a relief from classes until the middle of January. So alhamdulillah, they're all on break.
Excellent. Well, look, we want to dive straight into it. Preacher, we, as you know, you've worked with us. How many Golden Minaret Awards have you done with it? Weren't you the one at the very beginning in 2013? Weren't you the MC of that event?
I was at the inauguration event. And
Exactly. That's our very first.
Whose house was that, man? That was.
hey, that was the former embassy.
They came home. What happened?
hey, you had 300 Muslims up in that spot. You know what I mean?
I was like, yeah. I said, this is the inauguration of Middle Passage. Jesus Christ. I started to just lay down on the floor.
It was so many of us. It was so jam packed. Like, where did all these Muslims come from?
I know. It was like, oh, hey, there you go. All right. I was happy to be on stage. You know why? Because that place had the most space.
Right.
That's right. And the crazy thing is that the thing that stands out to me about that whole thing was the food. The food was fabulous. We had, speaking of biryani and
you have food there?
Oh, see, I forgot. We forgot to tell you. We forgot to tell you like 8 years later, right? Yes, there was food.
We had vendors too, but we had to give them their money back because nobody could get to the vendors. Right.
It was flat. It was honestly, that thing was jam packed. But this year around, we have actually some outstanding virtual vending that people will be able to enjoy. Preach. We're using a platform called Hopin that is almost kind of like going into a live venue. You're able to actually see the venue that you're going into, if you will, almost a virtual venue. We're going to try to see if we can actually not let people in who don't have gala attire, and then
stop.
huh?
You gotta let people in. Come on now.
No, I'm serious, man. If you don't have your
You
gala attire,
bodyguard, brother, come on now.
if you don't have your gala attire, you won't be able to get in. You know what I mean? But we're also going to be giving awards for the best gala attire, right? And then you'll be able to go and actually have some interactions when you come in with the people who are basically almost kind of like when you go into a large ballroom or a large concert hall. The first thing you see is a bunch of people, and so you may basically be in contact with people, introducing yourself, and you'll be able to do the same thing on a one-on-one basis. So you'll be able to be in kind of a private room with another person who's also just arriving, and you're going to be introducing yourself like you're just arriving to this large Broadway music hall, if you will. And then from there you'll be again dropped into a bazaar, a virtual bazaar with people sharing and providing you with the opportunities to buy some exotic goods and services, nonprofit organizations, charities, people doing great work. And then while you're doing that shopping, you're going to start hearing some things happening in another room where folks will be having some comedy relief and some music and some
you need to have a room where people complain about the parking.
You know what? That's the first time we will not have parking issues. Dr. Nisa, can you tell us about some of the people who you think we might be looking forward to having as vendors and as people in our bazaar, rather?
But we're looking for small businesses who have been really suffering through the COVID pandemic, businesses who have possibly closed down and are looking for another venue through which to sell their merchandise or offer their services. This is a prime opportunity to bring your product or service before a audience that perhaps you would not typically have your product or services in front of. And so for 2 days, you can have it in front of our audience at the Golden Minaret Awards.
And Preach, I know we've been talking about this project that you have really been spearheading for a long while. We're trying to coin the word Muslim Kings of Comedy off of the Kings of Comedy that was on HBO. And maybe we might be able to get this thing on a Netflix or something like that. But I really do think that this is something that a lot of people want to hear about, is Muslim comedy. I mean, and you have, of course, legends like yourself, but a lot of people don't even know that one of the top comedians of the world is also a Muslim, Dave Chappelle. Tell me, do you know Dave? And if so, what's been his vibe? As one Muslim to another Muslim comedian.
Well, I think it's fair to say I know Dave's family, and I know Dave. So I know his brother. I know his brother. I know his sister. I know him. But yeah, I know the history. I really connected with Dave right around the time he left the show, the Chappelle Show, and so there was a relationship that was born out of that situation, and we've all been fairly close. When I say fairly close, meaning that we've all kind of grown. He's a big fan of All That Made Me Funny back in the day, and that was something that was always kind of amazed him, because we didn't have Hollywood, we didn't have agents, we didn't have managers. He was like, "So who's manager?" I was like, "Dude, the name says Allah Made Me Funny." I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm like a God comic, brother." I would say, I was like, "Yo, I'm like a God comic. I'm just trying to walk this path. And a lot of times, and he's always been there, man. Very supportive, good brother. Relationship wise, it's like I'm the big brooding older Muslim brother. But like I said, he's done a good thing. I've seen him. Relationship has been pretty cool. Cause it's like I see you as a comedian, but I see you with your family. When I'm in town, I take care of your mom, things like that. So it's a different vibe. I haven't really got caught up with the whole he's a superstar guy. I think that may be what you're asking, because that's not how I met him. I was like this dude that he was just a brother, and that's the way he presented himself, and that's been good for both of us because it gives a balance, so we could talk about just life things. I think the first time I ever talked to him, we talked about jazz.
And tell me about his mom, because I heard that you almost tried to have a heart attack once when she, made the mistake of opening up her home to you. you always gave her some cholesterol problems over there.
What happened was, true story. I was in L.A. I was at Juma, and Imam Jihad Safir was giving his lecture, and he was doing a khutbah. And he started off with like, brother, we have an issue. And I'm just visiting. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, I'm ashamed of us all. I was like, well, I'm just visiting. He's ashamed of you guys, And he said that we have a sister a sister's a pioneer in the community, and she's in this retirement home, and nobody's visiting her. And she doesn't have blankets and supplies, and nobody's visiting her. And he was like, we got to do better. And I was like, it just resonated. I was like, I need to call the elders in my life and let them know that they're okay. Let me check on them. And Dave's mom was one of them. I called her up and said, look, I've been derelict. Your son has been derelict. I haven't checked on you in a minute. I said, I haven't seen you in a minute. I said, so look, the next time I'm in your area, I'm going to come see you. We're going to go have lunch like we used to do. We used to meet like around Valentine's Day. I'm going to come see you. And I wound up being in the Cincinnati area. And I was like, I'm going to come see you. But it happened to be the weekend of Hurricane Harvey. So Hurricane Harvey totally ruled out trying to get back, get to Texas and all of that. So I wound up staying in the house. And the story goes, I told her, don't fix breakfast. I got you. I cleaned up the kitchen. And I wasn't thinking I got running and all that type of stuff. I'm going to make breakfast for her. So I made a big breakfast. Like, I didn't feed her like she was a senior citizen, an elder. I felt her like she was a linebacker for the Chicago Bears. I had like 4 eggs on her plate, like half a pound of turkey bacon. I was like, hey, here you go. She looked at me like, okay. She forgave me. We still laugh about it. My mom was pretty upset, but we still laugh about it though.
And the thing that I remember about meeting his mom is the fact that his mom, I don't know, a lot of people don't know, but his mom is a legend, a international relations and African American studies legend. She recounted to me when I had a chance to meet her that she was a member of the cabinet for the famous Pan-African leader of the Central African Republic, or not even Central African Republic, but the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and that is none other than Patrice Lumumba. And I grew up, as a young, aspiring civil rights leader, following in the footsteps of my father, Dr. Talib Muhammad, learning about Pan-Africanism, and of course learning about Patrice Lumumba and Mobutu, who was the leader who was used by the CIA to kill Patrice Lumumba, and other Pan-Africanist leaders such as Kwame Nkrumah.
The story behind that.
No, please tell me.
Yeah, about the assassination of Lumumba. Interesting. So they've been trying to assassinate Lumumba, but they couldn't get him isolated. They were like, we can't get these people away from Lumumba long enough to assassinate him, or in this case, kidnap him. So they come up with the idea, the only idea that they came up with that would work was they booked Louis Armstrong to come to the area.
What?
That was the only person that was more popular than Lumumba. And they booked Louis Armstrong to come. And he came, and when the Saints were marching in, they marched out Lumumba. That's a true story.
Straight up. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know?
Yeah.
And you know, man, the people don't understand the connection between comedy and committee, meaning to say, don't understand the connection between, you know, the performers like you and even in this case, you know, and Louis Armstrong, and also people like, you know, Patrice Lumumba. Like, people just kind of put and isolate people in boxes, and they don't understand that, man, people have some talent and some love for art, and that's what you're doing, and I think it's not really what we're trying to do with this, you know, Golden Minaret Awards, and why, you know, comedy has always been there from the very beginning. You had Azhar Usman, we've had, you know, Syed Dora. I mean, does that make sense, or does it not resonate with you, Preach?
No, man, it resonates because even Allah Made Me Funny. Allah Made Me Funny, for those who are watching, it came out of the African American Muslim community. And so under that auspices, the importance of how we use art as protest as well as expression, you know, people caught up to that, but we were the first ones. I vividly remember thinking of a team, myself, and I wanted to put together a face of Islam in America, historically correct. So I had Azim Muhammad. Azim was the first person I recruited for Allah Made Me Funny. Azim was in the NOI, he was in the Nation of Islam. Myself, from WD Muhammad community, but had relationships with the NOI. And then Azhar Usman, man, and that was the history of Islam in America.
And you know, Dr. Nisa, you know, you like myself, you know, have come out of that, you know, the roots of the Muslim community, particularly starting with the Nation of Islam. I mean, and I think that we have also, with the Academy of Muslim Achievement, tried to always combine and reach out to the entire, you know, diaspora of the Muslim experience in America. I mean, what does that mean for you, Dr. Nisa?
So I think that's the beauty of what the Golden Minaret Awards offers, is that when we ask for nominations for awardees, we offer to the entire Muslim community. We're not particular. We don't say this community or that community. We offer to the entire community to nominate who you think is the best in the many categories that we offer. And then we have a unique offering of judges who pick the awardees. And so, because we want to recognize the best of the Muslim community. And so each year we're very excited when our nominees are offered. And then we're very excited when our winners are chosen, because we want to exactly represent the best that the Muslim community has to offer.
And Dr. Nisa, can you talk about some of those award categories? Because I think you've come up with a you know, a really great list, and people have been hitting me up, DMing me like, hey, you know, kind of put me on. I'm like, hey, I'm not even in it. I can't help you at all. So Dr. Nisa, you have consistently been out in the background because you don't want to have the people hitting you up. So I don't mind being hit up, but of course I can't help them. Perhaps you can at least share with the people how they might get themselves or the people who they know who are stars. Sometimes people don't even know that they're stars because they're doing such great work, and they don't even know, people don't know either they're Muslim or they don't know that they don't know who's doing the work. How do people go out and nominate people?
So they can go to the Facebook page for the Academy of Muslim Achievement, and the link is there for people to nominate the best of the following categories. These are our categories: Muslim Business of the Year, the Muslim Educational Institution of the Year, Charity of the Year, the Abu Talib Award for help to the Muslim community. And this award is for someone who is not a Muslim. We're looking for the people outside of the Muslim community who have been a help to the Muslim community. Lifetime Achievement Award, Best New Business less than a year old, the Ibn Abbas Award for Youth Achievement for those who are between the ages of 15 and 25, Best Muslim Online Community, In the age of COVID, a lot of wonderful online communities have developed. Social Justice Award for a person or organization, the Nelson Mandela Diplomat of the Year, Best Online Event. We've had some amazing online events in the era of COVID. Best in Healthcare, Best Frontline Worker. Because of COVID, we have had some amazing frontline workers. Best in Law and Best Social Media Influencer. Please go to the Facebook page and nominate who you think is the best in all of these different categories. We are anxious for your votes.
Do we have a funniest comedian award? Because I definitely would cast my vote for Preacher Moss.
I don't know. Nadira Pierre is pretty funny too. I really love her. She's pretty funny too.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Preach. Have you even heard this Nadira Pierre? She says that she's funny, but you tell me, you're the master Muslim comedian. What do you say?
Of course, Nadira has a different style. It's kind of in between social media and stand-up style. So it's refreshing. Plus, she's the African American Muslim. I like her perspective, and more important, I like her ground game in terms of a hustle, in terms of developing a persona and getting it out there. She's doing great things, and in particular, I like Nadira because she's younger. So there's a huge upside that I'm seeing with her.
You see when he said you younger, he almost looked like an old man. I'm like, well, I don't know who he's talking about. Shoot, younger than who?
Definitely younger than all of us.
Like in her 20s. She's younger. Yeah, like in her early 20s. She's younger. I mean, she reaches college age. Young people. She's younger. I've had her speak at Howard University, so she's younger.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not sure. I'm like, hey, I'm at that age now when people say, hey, brother, can you make dua for me? I got to stretch. I'm like, all right. I'm like, how sick is your mom? Because I can't have all day.
Well, people don't want to miss what we're doing with the Day of Conversations, the full day of conversations looking at the Muslim political agenda for 2021 and 2022. The issue of once you decide to run for politics, how do you organize a successful political campaign? And then once you get elected, how do you keep yourself from, selling your soul, which has happened and unfortunately happened to both, non-Muslims and Muslims alike. People getting into office, even in Congress. And once they get there, instead of saying, well, hey, I don't care if I'm a one-term congressman or congresswoman, I'm going to just try to, serve my constituents. Instead, the people throw out them, money, throw out them, committee assignments, throw out them, appointments to the next, level up, and then they get hooked. And instead of, doing what they talked about, being, a progressive or being a Muslim in Congress, doing the work that you say that you are committed to doing, they become, a person who is a congressperson or a congresswoman who just so happens to be a Muslim. And that, again, it can happen to us all, and it does. I mean, the confrontation of compromise is what we're all about, trying to be the opposite of, and celebrating everybody who can, avoid that compromise. So those are some of the conversations that, some serious conversations that, looking forward to being had. And then we have some, hilarious, hopefully, conversations in part one of what we're calling a Muslim King.
We're working on it. We're working on it. It's always going to be a work in progress. Comedy and entertainment, just like the gala, man. These are very, very, I want to say, character building times. So, you're going to find out who you are in this situation. I'm here to tell you. So all you people out there that thought your kids were smart until you started doing their homework with them. Now some of y'all are like, man, this kid ain't never gonna leave the
house. On that note, Dr. Nisa, why don't we close out? What do you want people to do in order to? I see that some folks have put in the chat the text to nominate. And I know our website just went live, our new website, because everybody been looking at an old website. Y'all talking about 2017 and 2021, but what should people do, Dr. Nisa?
We want people to be very excited about this. We want people to go to the Facebook page and to nominate who they think is the best in all the different categories, and to get excited about the Golden Minaret Awards.
And Preacher Moss, on your end, what should people look forward to? Are you going? So the question is two notes. I'm going to ask you. You can break some news right now. Are you going to be the executive producer, or are you going to be the man in the front, the host, or are you going to be a award presenter, or are you going to be all of the above?
See, now, brother, I'm gonna have to stretch just like Dua, brother. You and I will work it out, man. You got me on here like 60 minutes. Such a lawyer, Talib. You're such a lawyer. I know what you're doing. This is court. No, man. I think what we ought to do, like I said, you and I are gonna have a conversation about the best way forward, because it's really important when you have something like your project. You want to make sure that your capital is used in the right way. And part of being a supporter is also saying, listen, what's the best pathway to make sure this thing is continually successful? Like if you do an inaugural thing, you want to have things in between and interstitial that grow the project more and more. You already know this. Sister Nisa knows this as well. I'm preaching to the choir, if you will. So yeah, man, and we're going to figure out my involvement, my capacity for sure. And I hope, inshallah, we will be working together on a couple of things that I'm going to be releasing and some launches that I'm doing. And we'll be able to do them in conjunction with what you're already doing.
Well, may Allah reward you, Preach, honestly, man. The work that you do, people don't realize is important to our community, and they don't understand and they don't see, all the things that you're doing in the background. And that's why I said executive produce, because you're an executive, you're a media executive, you are somebody who's doing a whole lot in the background. And quite frankly, we need to be giving you an award almost every single year because of the work that you do. So many times, instead of charging the people what you would normally charge, you give again discounts to all of the communities who ask for that. And man, I mean, again, I don't even want to go on to talk about all the work that you do behind the scenes.
There's a couple of I don't get breaks. Charging more.
Not anymore. Well, may Allah reward you, brother, for all the work that you've done.
Likewise, man. Likewise, and as always, I always say Allah is God. Keep it simple. Just keep that focus, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And I continue to laud you and Sister Nisa for the work you do and just the effort, because a lot of people don't really understand how much an effort it is to go out and put a program up. Whether it's physical, whether it's virtual, the heavy lifting is always the same. I would even say that the lifting is heavier for a virtual event because you're trying to get people to come to a computer, which is crazy, which is really, really crazy, man. But that's what it is. People talking in front of a computer, and the transition from doing it for work to doing it for entertainment, even for comedy, it's a really interesting thing. So. As always, man, my hat's off to you guys, and may Allah continue to bless you and give you success.
Ameen. Well, let me also recognize, Preach, in addition to your support, the support of our partners, and I'm happy to say that we have an award-winning filmmaker, Sahar Al-Sahlani, who is one of our partners, an executive partner.
What's the name again?
Sahar Al-Sahlani. Al-Sahlani. I'm sorry, Al-Sahlani. My bad. Sahar Al-Sahlani. Thank you very much. See, I was going down too much on the hat. I should have got. See,
yeah,
exactly. See, I should have gone on the lamb instead of the hat. So Sahar, please forgive me. Sahlani, and the Sahel, as you know, is a region of Africa. So a lot of people don't realize that the Arabs are black people. You know what I mean? People think that the Arabs are Caucasians. And the reason why people don't understand, the reason why some of them look Caucasian is because the Arabs who conquered, all of Arabia and much of Africa actually were black. And the people who they conquered also in parts of the European controlled territory were more, reddish or Caucasian looking. And so when they conquered them, they became their concubines. And so the African, the African part of the Arabs, kind of like got watered down a little bit. And the Arab, now you see the people who are, at least on the outside, people, on the front, they look a little lighter skinned. But if you go into the communities of the Arabs across the Arab community, from as far up as Baghdad in Iraq, as far as south as Yemen in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, you will see that the older, well, defined tribes of Arabs are people who look as dark as you and me. So that's just a historical fact. But nevertheless, the Sahlani tribe, has much love from us. We appreciate Sahar. We also appreciate our team of interns from around the world. We have Sister Shalia Rahman. We have Sister Zainab Tahir, who's actually in Pakistan getting some medical treatments. We ask Allah to be with her. We have our Sister Shema from the Maghreb, from Morocco. We have Sister Sundus from North Carolina. And we have, again, a new sister that we're just bringing on our team, who is Sister Safia, or Afia, rather, Sister Afia. May Allah reward all those sisters who have been doing some great work. And of course, Dr. Nisa. Dr. Nisa, as you know, is a tremendous leader. And we thank Allah for her and her whole family. And without any further ado, I'm going to ask Brother Preacher Moss. Why don't you give us a comedic dua, brother? Go ahead.
No such thing, man. I'm gonna give that to you, brother.
Well, alhamdulillah. Subhanaka wa hamdika wa astaghfirullah wa la ilaha illa anta wa atubu. May Allah have mercy upon us, bless us with success, accept our repentance, and bless us to all be companions in comedy and the Yomul Kiyama and Jannatul Firdaus, where we can laugh all day and night and enjoy all the turn up and all the other things that are again being only again limited in this life. So may Allah reward you all.
Amen.
Amen.
And we look forward to seeing you on January 15th and 16th for the Muslim inaugural weekend. Stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.